Oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun. Welcome to the podcast known as Blending the Family. I am your host, Tommy Malloy. This is one of those weird situations where we're doing audio and video. Uh, I saw this video I don't know if it was years ago or whenever, but Simon Sinek talked about, your friends and why are they your friends? And on my screen, hopefully on your screen, is a dear friend of mine, Freddy Angel. And I started thinking more and more about this topic, and here we are, Freddie.
Here we are.
Um,
Years later.
Years later, exactly. Because here's the thing: you're one of those people. I've got several friends. I'll admit it. I have friends, and
Oh, you do? That's pretty surprising.
well, because the work has been consistent, so I've been able to send the check. Oh, you didn't get your check? Oh,
I didn't get a check. I didn't even get a free copy of your book. So
which book?
the book you wrote.
I wrote. I've got the orange one.
Yeah, that one.
I thought I gave you one.
Yeah, I guess it must have got lost in the mail.
No, when back in Chicago.
No.
Great. Now I gotta send you.
Yes. Yeah,
I gotta send you bourbon and books.
Such a good friend.
Yeah. Where the heck was I going with this? So friends will say, "Hey, I should be on your podcast," and I'm just like, and then I started thinking more and more about it, and I've had a couple of friends on here, and it's been a blast. So here we are. The main topic is why are we friends?
Mhm.
And I know we're going to get into other shit. And by
And
the way,
nonsense.
and definitely nonsense. I hate doing video. And part of the reason why is luckily you haven't made fun of me yet. You can't see, but I've got this wicked cold sore that's the ugliest thing ever.
I know you just had herpes from the gut, so
Well,
that's why I never kissed you.
well, not on the lips. Anyway,
Hey!
so let's go back. Let's go back to I can't. Was it 2017?
I believe so.
Is
Yes.
that right? 2017, June of 2017, O'Hare Airport.
O'Hare. Oh my God. Yes.
I am
Home of the
standing.
Blackhawks. Home of the Bulls.
Cubs, except
No,
your
you know,
Dodgers
I'd
just
rather
beat.
go for the White Sox.
Yeah, but your Dodgers just beat up my Cubs. The 3-game sweep.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So here we
I'm
are.
from LA. Just so disclaimer, in case you have any Chicago followers.
Hey, what was that accent?
Oh,
You got to quit doing accents. Don't do accents.
that was my Tommy gun. Like
No.
well,
Anyway,
anyway.
um, so here we are. I'm waiting for you to get off the jet bridge from the trip from LA. Hello. Yeah,
Wow. Speaking
that
of
was a better
accents,
accent.
don't do accents.
No, that was a better accent than whatever you were trying to do.
That was not better than mine. You know what? We'll put that to the poll. Who did the better accent?
My house, my rules. So anyway,
Okay.
we had never met. Did we even talk on the phone or did we text?
No, it was actually via text, and they sent me the information about where to land, where to go to Avis, and you're gonna meet this guy named Tommy, and they gave me your phone number, and I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. So me being me, I always I'm like, all right, up for the challenge. So when I it was the funniest thing because when I landed, I texted you. I was like, "Hey, I'm here," or I actually texted you before I
I
left.
think you texted me before you left because you told me you're wearing what, a 49ers hat
Yes, yeah,
and to look for that.
to look for a
And I'm
49
like,
hat. Yeah,
and I'm thinking, how many other people are going to be wearing 49er hats coming from LA? Um, what are the odds, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
then the funniest thing was when I landed, you had sent me a selfie.
Oh yeah, I did.
And
That's right.
you're wearing this like white polo, and I was like, what the hell? Who is this guy? And this guy kind of looks like Bruce Willis mixed with Larry David.
Oh, I'll take the Bruce Willis compliment. Yeah.
I was like, wow. And then yeah, we met up. And I remember like I think you mentioned this to me the other day. You were like, oh yeah, like I had to use the restroom, and
Yeah, right away. You're like, hey, I gotta piss. Okay, all right.
and I'm like,
I'll
can you hold my shit?
yeah, I'll watch it. Okay, all right, sure.
And yeah,
But
that drive was fun.
yeah, yeah, we went from there to the rental car, and then we drove to the hotel. And I think the funniest thing was we were trying to scrounge enough change for the tollway
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
get to
because yeah, they have tolls there. Oh my
yeah,
god, I
because
forgot about that.
neither of us had an. I think
We
again, I
didn't
think
have cash.
we're scrounging around to find it just enough. I don't know if we even found enough.
No, I think we just ran through it.
Yeah, because luckily there was no gate,
Yeah,
and we just all right, thank you, bye. Um,
and then I actually put that on the company's like
oh, the your
your
expense
credit card.
report. Yeah, why not?
I was like, oh, you guys can take care of that.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you get a ticket. Yeah,
Yeah, well, because it was a ticket. It was like a $30 ticket or something like that.
right. And then I remember we went to the hotel, but throughout the drive, for some reason, here's a guy living in Colorado. Here's a guy, living in the LA area, and we just for some reason clicked.
Yeah, that was it was almost like instantaneously. It wasn't even forced or, you know, put upon us to get along because at that point it could have just been like, all right, go fuck off.
Yeah, I mean it was a little bit forced because we were forced to be in the same car, but other
Yeah,
than
yeah,
that, I mean,
but
but it wasn't.
not forced to be friends.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't awkward. I mean, I not to be, two guys, but we were able to talk about, sports was probably the first thing we
Hmm.
really started to relate to. And,
Yeah,
you know, but throughout, our time in Chicago during training, we got into other topics
but
other than just
more
sports.
more into life topics,
Yeah.
and I think that really create a bond between us that is unbreakable. Like to this day, I still call you, and I haven't seen you in what 3 years physically.
Was
The
was
last time we saw,
Houston?
the
Was
last
it
time
Houston?
no, the last time we saw each other was when you came to
Oh, that's right.
Whittier area when
Yeah,
we
when
went to that Mexican place.
that's right. We went to dinner. Well, I ate. You were ate, so you watched me eat.
I watched you
Uh,
eat with like a
yeah,
weirdo and had beer.
yeah, yeah. That's right. Okay, I'm happy you've got a better memory than I do.
I know. It's like, do you have CT or what?
Oh, I forgot my tea. Oh, I usually do drink tea during these conversations, but yeah, and now the weirdest thing about the last time we saw each other was, and I truly mean this, and I think I mentioned this to you, um, how much you matured in the time that you left the company, and between the times we had seen each other, because you grew, and I think the benefit of it was, uh, you became a young wise person, um, and it was interesting from my point of view because I was so used to, the times you and I were on site together, the goofing around, and
Right.
but you were still Freddie, but you changed in a good way.
Well, I appreciate that. I think you know, with time, it's not even like a maturity thing, but I feel that you just brought out this comfort in me that I can show you the whole Freddy,
Mhm.
as opposed to just like the other people where they saw that we don't talk to anymore, our coworkers, our ex coworkers, um, that there's more to it. There's a big spectrum,
Mhm.
and you always understood that, and you always took me for who I was. And with them, it was more like, oh, he's funny, he's cool, like whatever. He's from LA, he's gonna talk his shit. But at the same time, I had this dynamic with you, and I think it really flourished to me. When I think it really peaked was when we were in San Antonio
Mm.
with what was her name?
Martha.
Martha. Yes. Oh my god, what a piece of work.
What did she call you? Fast Freddy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fascinating. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Oh, Martha, you were. She was a character. I mean, and let's put that whole situation in perspective. So for the audience, we were working in car dealerships.
Yes.
We were um, teaching different parts. Well, ironically, I was teaching parts. You were teaching service. But
you,
Martha was it.
you,
Martha
you
was it.
you make me sound like a hooker. You were teaching service.
Oh, maybe I was. Maybe when I went back to my hotel, I was, make a little extra money, chicka bow bow.
Gotta pay the bills.
Got to pay the bills. I don't have as many pairs of glasses as you do, so I
Wow,
gotta,
you're so
I
dumb.
gotta work it. But it was funny because looking back at that particular dealership was just a clusterfuck.
That
Um,
experience in itself.
but the experience, I look back at, it's a story, and it's
Mhm.
something that only those that were there. But it's the one thing I loved about our relationship was that we could just look at each other and go, "What the fuck are we doing here?"
Exactly. No, we always had each other's back, and that goes also to remember the Volvo incident in Houston.
The the dealership that wasn't built and they kept sending us back.
Yeah. I was like, okay. It's funny. We have a recurring theme. We always go to Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hold on. When we were in outside of San Antonio, we went to
Oh, we went to
Buffalo
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wings. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That was it. That was actually, everything's so spread out over there.
Well, you were staying on the other side of the planet. I was
Yeah,
staying in the where there were people.
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
I fucked up that one.
yeah. Well, and hold on, and you got sick.
Oh,
You
I
got
did.
extremely sick at a Mexican restaurant.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was over there. Yeah. Dang, I forgot about that.
yeah.
See, you have a good memory too.
Occasionally, I just forgot my tea for today. But so, I mean, the topic. I mean, going back to when we first met. We're sitting in these classes, learning this software.
Hmm.
You were literally my eyes. Um, who knew that?
Literally.
Who knew that I had a detached retina?
No,
Not me,
not
apparently.
you.
No, no. But I still look at the dynamics in that classroom,
Mhm.
and you could see maybe a couple of clicks here and there, but for some reason, going back to the whole "why are we friends," I look back at I think that why we hit it off the bat right away, and still, talk. And is I think we saw something in each other. And there are times sitting in those classrooms just going, what the fuck are we doing here? We're in the wrong place,
Right.
wrong time. We we have so much potential. Why are we here? And
Right.
that's my feeling about why we stay so connected.
I I I I will agree with you on that. On the premise, and I also think because we're both writers and create things
Hmm.
that are not just there, that other people don't understand necessarily. But I feel that like getting to know you was probably the best experience I've had because at the time, keep in mind, I had Sid and
Hmm.
he was still a pup, and me leaving him was like the worst. And I don't know, you just made it better. You made it fun. You made it cool, and that's why. And even when I would help you in class and stuff like that, it was never like a burden. It was never, like, oh, I have to help Bruce
Blind
Willis,
motherfucker.
this Bruce Willis blind fucking asshole. It was more like, just to, like, let's pull through this together. Let's get some money and let's just go because
Hmm.
we're obviously here for a reason, and the reason was for money. We weren't like those guys that were like car aficionados. Like, I mean, I love Formula One. I love cars, but I wasn't like, like in a dealership scenario. Like, those guys are all like full of shit, in my opinion. So
Hmm.
it's like they always say, don't ever trust a car salesman, you know? So, um, I don't know. I don't know. To me, if the only thing I can take away from that experience in general as to why we're friends is because I saw something in you and you saw something in me and we gravitated towards each other and we had fun. We just literally had fun. And we knew, like you said, you're saying like, oh, what the hell are we doing here? But at the end of the day, it's like we have bills to pay. We have
Hmm.
things to do. So I was like, well, if I'm if I want to be successful, then I'm gonna make him successful too, even if I have to fucking read this fucking screen into his eyes. So
Well, the one good eye.
yeah, the one good eye, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, it's ironic that you talk about your success, my success, because that's how I've always ended the podcast. Because I heard this interview years ago with uh, Terry Crews,
Hmm.
and Terry Crews was talking about how he's walking around Hollywood and he's seeing these billboards of these movie actors that got these new roles. He's like, "Hold on, I was up for that role. Why did he get it?" And then he would, be all pissed off. And then he realized, hold on, if they got that role, that means there's another role that they're not available to take that I can take. So
Hmm.
that means their success is going to be my success. And, you know,
Wow.
that's, a bit of, I think it's a good philosophy to have of instead of everybody, trying to beat each other down,
Hmm.
why can't we work together and just build each other up?
Absolutely.
And it was, you know I would, because of, the relationship you and I were starting to build in those training rooms, I could feel myself just totally lost. And
Mm.
you could sense it, and you would just like, hold on, here, let me show you, let me just bring up the page and show you. Oh, I get it now.
Hmm.
Because you get that self-doubt, you've got that, imposter syndrome going, hold on, I'm not understanding this. How if I'm not understanding, how am I supposed to go teach this?
Right, exactly. And I mean, honestly, I think you give me too much praise, but I absolutely appreciate you. you know, acknowledging it. But man, like you had it down too.
Hmm.
Um, it's just it took you a little like push in the ass, like a kick in the ass,
Yeah.
for you to comprehend it. And
Um,
you were really good with people too, which I think I learned a lot about you in those scenarios when we worked projects together because of the way you conducted yourself, and that helped me be a little bit more like humble and nice and understanding and empathetic towards other individuals, because before I would just be like, "Oh fuck you, you don't understand this, and go fuck off."
right. Well, it's kind of hard because you know and I don't want to say it's the integrity. It's the trainer,
Hmm.
and the trainer, the teacher, the facilitator, the professor. That's the role they're playing. And again, it goes back to if we're successful, our students are successful.
Right.
But a lot of things you saw with me is literally an act because I am such that introvert, and something you and I
Oh, no
will talk.
oh my god. You want to talk about introvert? You were the biggest motherfucking introvert I've ever fucking met in my life. Like
Still am.
even when we like hit it off, you were still like, I was like, "Hey, you want to go grab a drink?" You're like, "Oh no, I'm just gonna go to my room, blah
Mhm.
blah." And I'm like, "Do you want to eat anything?" You're like, "No, I'm good, blah
Yeah.
blah." And you just fuck off to your room. I don't know what you would
Mhm.
do. Probably jerk it. I don't know.
No. Yeah.
And you're like, I'm gonna work on my podcast, and that's when I was like, podcast. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. I don't know why.
But no,
Because they're
it's a natural thing, in my opinion, because we're like yin and yang,
mhm.
and not because I'm brown, but no, but you're very, you know,
White.
you're very no, you're very like closed off to new people. You don't know. You just like kind of like examining with where me I'm more like, oh, what's up, man? And I'm very open, so we're totally opposite when it comes to that. And I think that's going back to how we became even closer friends, going to Ohio. And you know we were like at that point we're super close.
Right.
And I remember when I got you so fucking drunk.
I don't remember.
Obviously. But yeah, I mean we had fun. And it was like good fun. It wasn't like forced fun, or it wasn't have anything to do with like women, or anything like that,
No.
or
Yeah.
drugs or anything like that. It was just organic fun. Like
Yes.
the only thing we had was drinks, and just laugh at each other and just have fun. And it was good. It was a good time. I mean, I really appreciate all those times that I've had with you. I think you're honestly one of my closest friends that I can just reach out to you anytime, and you'll always have my back. So,
Oh, and vice versa. I think the other thing is that the commonality is our love for our dogs,
oh
and
yeah,
see, yeah,
oh yeah,
he's right,
he's sleeping
yeah,
right here.
yeah, he's sleeping right behind me. I mean, it was
He's
that
sleeping on the side.
because we were at the dog park early this morning. Were you?
No, I took him out on a walk though,
Yeah,
so he
that'll
can
work.
do his business.
Business. You gotta do it. Business.
His business.
Um, you know, going back to talking about a bit of the road warrior lifestyle and mentality, and
Hmm.
something you mentioned that we were talking about when we talked on Friday night, and that was, and I was so surprised you brought it up, and I was so surprised and a little bit mad at myself that I've never had this conversation with anybody,
Hmm.
and it's the loneliness.
Yeah.
And again, I, I accept it. I accept the fact that I'm an introvert, and I accept the fact that I know I'm lonely on the road. I know I go through a lot of anxiety.
Hmm.
Um, but it was interesting that you brought it up, and that again, I, I don't know why we never had this conversation before, even when we were working together.
Yeah. And I think it's also because we both have kind of different personalities,
Hmm.
and for you to hear it from me comes off completely off-putting. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And um, to me, like I felt that loneliness, the just like going through airport to airport, hotel to hotel, you know, meeting people that you have to kind of just adjust to, and it's not like we traveled together all the time. We had projects together occasional, and when you were
Hmm.
there, I got excited because I was like, "Oh, hell yeah, like someone who
Right.
knows me is there." And hopefully I can alleviate some of that burden off as well on your end because I know who you are by this point. So I was like, well, maybe like we can have fun, we can hang out, we can have dinner, we can have a drink, we whatever it, we just fucking chill. It doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, it was yeah, being a road warrior is it's very difficult. And it really takes a toll on your mental state, like you said, especially if you already have like anxiety or like you feel bad. It's not a good place. And you being an introvert, you're just in your room, so you're just seeing four walls. So you're like, what the hell am I doing?
Well, but remember, because we took that. Well, I don't. It was like a. I don't think it was in a class. It was just a whatever, with that one senior manager saying, make sure when you go to those hotel rooms, observe the artwork in the hotel room.
It's like, what the fuck? I'm gonna fuck it. So what the? That's like some generic IKEA shit.
But you know what I do? I do observe it. I really
You did?
do. I do. I mean, like my last trip, I think was in February to Vegas, and inside the hotel room, there were some really cool pictures, and I'm like, oh, those would be cool to have around the house. But again, I'm still sitting in the room, just going, hey, yeah.
At that point, I'll just whip out the laptop and watch porn.
Well, that's the difference between you and I, Freddie.
Oh no, duh.
Not really. Anyway, um, oh, there was something. There was something that you had emailed me.
Hold on, I'm checking too.
Oh, here we go. So the thing about how to keep a friendship alive when living in different states,
No.
and
Hmm.
it's I don't know. Is it a guy thing that we can, you know, there were months where we didn't talk, but then we
Yeah,
just pick it.
almost,
Then we
almost even a year at one point.
was it?
Kind
Oh
of.
yeah, kind of yeah. But again, I don't want to generalize, but it seems that even though we didn't really lose contact, we just didn't communicate,
Yeah,
but we
but
picked it right up,
yeah.
and I think that was the my trip to LA that we had dinner where I I feel that's where we realized we can't have that space again. We can't have, you know, time not talking to each other.
Hmm. I agree. And I mean, to me, you're like a cassette tape. In case you're a millennial, you probably don't know what that is, but um, it's just pause and play. You know,
I think I
it's
have one. Do I have one? Oh my god, I do have one. There we go. I got a cassette tape.
There you go. What is
De-
it?
Depeche Mode.
Oh my god! Wow, when did you become so gothic?
Oh, Depeche Mode's not. Well, I mean,
Well,
a
yeah.
little bit, but I mean they're techno, and I know we're recording this. Today is actually Dave Gahn, the lead singer for Depeche Mode. Today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Dave Gahn.
Oh,
Yeah,
shout out.
yeah. Back to you, Freddie in the booth.
Yes, sir. So,
I,
absolutely.
I
No.
remind you. I remind you of a cassette tape.
Yes, you do. Because when it comes to you, it's always you can pause it and then you can play it back over again, and it's always the same nice track.
What's the difference between that and a CD?
CDs, they scratch and they skip.
I'm gonna have to think about that one.
You're more vintage. That's from well, I'm going back to your old age.
I'm. I am a record. I am.
Oh, you're vinyl.
I am vinyl.
Okay, you're vinyl then.
I
We'll,
am
we'll leave it.
vinyl.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but no, it's always we in summary, it's like we pick up where we left off. You know, so it's like it doesn't matter. It can be 1 year, 2 years, 3 months,
Hmm.
5 days, 5 minutes. We'll always pick up wherever we left off, and it's always a good conversation. And I think that's truly what friendship is, because life happens. You have things on your end, I have things on my end, and sometimes things can just fall between the cracks. But when you're like, oh shit, how's Tommy doing?
Hmm.
Let me reach out to him. It's makes it so much more special too.
Well, the thing that cracks me up is like my wife, my
Hmm.
because I'll talk about several of my friends
Hmm.
that she has yet to meet, and she gives me the I don't think you really have friends. I think they're just invisible people that you say
She thinks you're getting catfish.
yeah, yeah, or
No,
or that I- or
I'm
that I
here.
can create I'll have my phone just ring and I'm like, oh, it's my buddy Freddie. Sure,
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 it's a prostitute.
yeah, it's a spam call. I just want to talk to him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Sometimes you like, what's up?
yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna let you sell me anything, but let's just talk. How are you?
Yeah, how are you
Good.
doing? How's your
Yeah,
day?
yeah,
Where do you
yeah.
live?
How's life in your cubicle?
Yeah,
Things like
exactly.
that. Yeah. Um, when are you coming out here?
Well, I'm trying to aim for this year for sure.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I want to stay in your basement, but just don't tell me to like put the lotion on or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
It puts the lotion on.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I actually want to come back from Colorado, so
Oh.
my God.
Well, I like to say, as I'm looking out the window here, I used to have a view of the mountains
Hmm.
from my office here, but now those are gone. They've built houses,
Oh no
but it's
way.
still it's still great. Um, I mean, as long as they're not building houses right up against where we live, I mean
Yeah.
they. But yeah, because I know you've talked about wanting to come out here, and I love sharing. When people come out here, I love sharing. You know what like places my wife and I go to. I
Well,
mean,
I mean, speaking of places you and your wife go to, you sold me that whiskey bottle.
bourbon.
Oh, whatever.
Let's get it right. We got to get it
Bourbon.
right.
I'm
Bourbon.
I'm sorry. Bourbon.
I we haven't been there. Maybe next weekend.
All right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna hold you to that.
Oh,
Everyone watching, Let the record show.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not Amber Heard, dude.
Uh, I don't get that. Have they? They
I
just need to end that trial and just everybody move on. Okay,
bye.
throw it out. Just throw it out. Um, so one thing is where can I help you? So how can I be a better friend to you?
I think you're doing just fine. Um, I think the checks that you do on me,
Mm.
the fact that
Oh, by the way, they bounce, so don't worry.
wow. No, I meant like wellness checks. Like,
Oh, checking in. Sorry,
yeah, checking in.
sorry. Yeah.
Like, just more like, how you just be you. I mean, I think, you're an awesome friend. You have been from the get go. I didn't expect to build a friendship. Like, I always make a joke where it's like, I'm not looking for new recruits, but sometimes, someone just slips in and you're like, wow, this person is actually a great, wholesome, honest, badass person. And it could be anyone, like, you know, guy, girl, whatever. But I don't know. Anything for you to help me, just keep being you, because what you do inspires me to keep going forward. And
Well, and I'm going to stop you there when you talk about inspired forward, and that's where again I go back to everybody's got potential, and
mhm,
everybody. Let me phrase it this way. So you and I, when you sent me that little, I don't know if you want to call it a poem or just some writing, and you said I this just came off the top of my head, and I'm
mhm,
like, dude, you need to be publishing this stuff. And I've got a couple other friends that I love being that advocate for them,
yeah,
and being your advocate too, to say, you know, we're only on this planet one time. This is not dress rehearsal. Just what's the worst thing can happen?
a
I
no, right?
yeah, if even um, like the guys that did the chicken soup books, they were rejected over 40, no, 141 times, I think it was. But they kept pushing, they kept pushing, kept pushing. And I think that if you don't have somebody in your corner,
Yeah,
you're going to give up. And I, I, I don't want people like you, Freddie, to just, when you hear, the positive things about things you've written, that in my opinion, and I know some people are very personal about their art, but I just don't want you to be a secret. I want people to say, "Oh, Freddy Angel, he's the guy who wrote this," or "Freddy Angel wrote that." I mean, that's and again, I go back to sitting in those classrooms, or even in San Antonio, or when we're in Houston, or Ohio, and you know here we are, you know in my view, a job is where somebody gets fired, but if you're doing your work is your passion. And if we keep getting stuck in a job,
then it kind of, yeah, it kind of
yeah,
unplugs that cord.
yeah,
Yeah, because I know that you were trying to do your podcast when you were working, but the job was so exhausting that you would literally knock out and just go to sleep,
hmm
sometimes without even having dinner.
hmm
So no, I get that. And I appreciate your kind words too. Like, I think that's very, you know, it's almost like a boxer, right? You need that guy in the corner, your cut man.
right, yeah. I need a cut man right now for
Yeah,
my
no,
little
you need
my
a
lip.
yeah, you need a you need a moxicillin.
Yeah, I need a amoxicillin and a makeup artist.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my god, you're so dumb.
Well, hold on, I gotta tell you this real quick. So the other morning, I've got this ugly thing going on, and I'm sitting in my chair, and Otis comes up to me, and sometimes when he jumps up on me, it's his. I've been reading a lot about dogs, um, the way they what do you call it? Crap, lost it. Anyway, um,
Oh my god.
uh, you know, the different ways they jump up.
Yeah, right.
And so body language, that's it, body language. If I knew how to video edit, I'd edit this out. But anyway,
No,
but
it's cool.
the
I
way,
like
the
hearing you
way,
just sounding like a dumbass.
thank you. Everybody already knows how much of an idiot I am. But he had jumped up, and then his claw got in here, and I'm like, so I'm starting bleeding here, and I was already bleeding here, and I'm just like, oh my fucking god. And I'm getting ready to go to the dog park, and there's a I've become my wife kept telling me, quit taking your earbuds and listening, go talk to people. I'm like, I don't want to talk to people. I want to just pet the dogs. I don't want to talk to people.
Exactly. Like I just take my AirPods on and I just
Hmm.
go.
Yeah. Well, because of Otis here, he became friends with another dog, and I ended up becoming friends with the dog's owners, and so
They're humans.
the humans, yeah. And I was so self conscious this week. I'm like, when I talk,
You should have just worn a mask.
no,
Wow. Okay.
no.
I think I have my mask around here somewhere.
I have a bunch in my backpack. But
Do you have a CDK one?
no.
Good.
Well,
But go on. So what happened? So you were self.
well, again, I was just saying I was being very self conscious about it, and just like, ugh. And this is why I love doing the podcast, and I love talking to people, and that's why I love doing it audio only, so people don't, you know, see the ugliness right here.
It's okay. At least it's not
Oh.
herpes.
Well, technically it is. Cold
Oh, it
sores are
is a cold
herpes.
sore. Oh yeah, you're right. Ew. All
Yeah.
right. Remind me to never share a beer with you.
Mm. Well, it's funny because I made a smoothie. When was it? Saturday, and I bought this new protein mix, and I had
What
the
are you,
glass.
bodybuilding? What the
No, just and I just
fuck? It's
trying
probably
to just trying to.
it's probably Nugenics mixed with Cialis or something.
Don't get me started on new janks. Anyway, and I handed the glass to my wife, and then my oldest bonus daughter was here too, and I wanted her to try it. And all I kept thinking was, "Oh crap! Hopefully they don't drink from the side of my herpes lip right here."
So you're a spreader right now.
I think so. Well, the funny thing, this is the funny thing, and nobody's watching. So anyway, um, my wife said to me this last Monday night, she goes, "I'm not feeling well." I said, "Oh, okay." And I'm the one that gets the cold sore. She's fine. She just said I wasn't feeling, and she was feeling fine. And I'm the one who gets this. And then, and then Thursday, Wednesday. When did I go? Thursday, I went to the doctor to get my final shingle shot. That kicked my ass. It's
Oh.
been a crappy week. Crappy week.
No, I get what you mean with that. I got my booster about what, a month ago? No, 3 weeks ago, something like that. Yeah, close to a month now. And oh my god, that kicked my ass for like 3 days.
Oh,
Bad.
really?
Yeah, like bad. So I got Moderna, and um, the first shot was okay. The second shot kicked my ass, and the booster fucked me up. But I mean, shit, fully boosted. I have to do that because my mom's going through chemo. So,
Right. Oh, did you get mom her dinner yesterday?
yeah, we got her dinner, and I gave her a sunflower with a note. Um, just I had to write it big so she could read it. So wrote it with a marker.
That's
But
not funny.
um, yeah, I mean, she liked it, and it was cool. It was a good time.
Well, good.
Yeah,
Good.
and I gave my sister a flower too because she has my niece. So
Mm.
um, yeah, but other than that, it was pretty good.
And mom's doing well yesterday.
She was feeling a little nauseous. But um, she has two pills. One, it's called 1 and 2. So the first one is it's anti-nausea.
Okay.
So I gave her that one, and then she was good for the rest of the day. So she didn't have to
Mm.
take the second one. And her blood pressure is good. Everything's good. So yeah, we're doing fine.
That's good.
Yeah, we have
Good is good.
we have our next session in about I'm gonna say 2 weeks. So yeah,
Is it every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks she has to go?
every 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully we're pretty much at the halfway point. So
Uh,
uh, as long as she's not like bleeding out or anything like that, or loses her appetite, she should be okay.
good. Good.
Yeah. So
I,
yeah.
I like I like it. I like hearing that your mom is doing well because I know this has been a long,
Hmm.
long.
Long battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially yeah, she's had health issues that were really like bad, but eh, she's hanging in there.
Good.
That's important. Sid is funny because he always goes up to her and just like lays next to her.
Aw.
Yeah, he's like knocked out right now. I think he's exhausted from the weekend.
Yeah. Otis too. He. It was funny because it's just a big field,
Hmm.
and so I mean it's all fenced in, and he and I just walk together, and then from time to time, if there's another dog that he'll want to hang, and they wrestle. That's all he does. They don't run around. They just wrestle.
Oh, that's Sid and his bro. Oh my god, I have
Ugh.
videos of them just like going to town on each other, and it's funny because you see these two big dogs, right? Because these guys are I think Oso is about 100 pounds. Sid is like 110, and he's taller. And these guys just wrestle like I'm like, what am I watching? WWE?
Yeah.
It's so funny, and um, but it did get kind of intense. About what was it? 2 weeks ago when I went over there. Yeah, the last time my mom had chemo, and I was trying to wash Oso's ear, like
Hmm.
flush it out because I think he had like a minor infection, and I had a wash that the vet gave me for Sid when he had the similar thing, because you know how they have like their ears are pointed up,
Yeah.
so any like extra water, things like that, like can be bad for them.
Hmm.
So I was doing that to him, and then Sid came because he gets jealous,
Yeah.
and then also retaliated, and he bit him on the lip hard,
Oh.
and but it wasn't like a a nibble, it was a bite, and Sid's lip looked like yours, except his was like bleeding out, and my sister was panicking. I was like, chill the hell out, like, and oh my god.
Brotherly love right there.
That's what I'm saying. Not even Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I had like blood all over my hands, and I finally got it to clot, and it was he's been fine since. It
Oh,
got like a
good.
little inflamed, but it wasn't too bad. He's a tough boy.
Yeah. Well, German Shepherd, of course he is.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's funny because I always to my niece, I always make fun of Sid, so I call him Hans because German.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, "Come here, Hans."
Well, there was one day I think I told you, I don't know, but there was one day at the dog park, and there was 4 German Shepherd dogs there, and I felt like I was in a scene of Hogan's Heroes with all these German Shepherd dogs. I'm like, uh oh. And of course, Otis, he doesn't care. He goes up to one of them, and they just start playing and just having a good old time.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
I'm glad Otis is very, you know, just like open.
he is. He's a very, I mean, he's chill, but he will. He, it's like you're talking about Sid and Oso. It's just fun to watch. It's so fun. Being at the dog park for me is just my happy place, and it's
That's good. That's
you
good.
know it's you know the world is going to shit, but if I'm at the dog park, even
Cool.
you know
Like no worries.
no, no, the only time the worries is when there's too many dogs there, and that's when you can feel it. You can feel there's a
Like
little too
like
much energy.
like the tension. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and
Especially depending on. Well, I'll tell you a funny story about Sid. When he was a puppy, he was about, I want to say one, maybe one. No, actually younger than that. He was probably like 8 months. I took him to a dog park, and this lady had this like huge black dog. It looked kind of like a mix of a mastiff and like a lab.
okay.
And we went in, just trying to feel out the whole field in San Jose, and it was just us two. And she was reading a book. I remember it distinctly. And Sid goes in because you know how they have that kind of like that little what do they call it, like the panic room type thing, where it's one gate and then you open the
Oh
gate.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I let Sid in there. I took him off his leash, and he was running around. And this other dog just comes to maul him, like bad.
Oh,
And I remember I had his frisbee, so the only thing I could do was like hit the dog in the nose with the frisbee.
oof,
And I was like, and this lady was just like sitting there, and I was like, hey, call your dog back, put him up,
right.
like put him on his leash, like control him, and oh, I remember Sid was like so traumatized that day, which I'm surprised he even likes dogs. Hates people, loves dogs.
I'm the same way.
Is that why you hate me?
It's not a hate thing. It's a more love hate.
Love hate.
Yeah.
It's just a bad romance, like Lady
Bad
Gaga
romance.
said.
There you go. Yeah. Freddie, it's not you. Well, it is, but
Oh wow.
anyway.
Well, anyway, it was great for you to have.
Was it? Were you okay with this? Did
This
you
is
have fun?
this is awesome. Thank you so
This
much.
is well. This is why Again, I was the Simon Sinek talking about why are you friends with certain people, and I kept thinking, going, that's a great topic. That's a great series, and so here we are. And
And you and
thank
you
you for being the guinea pig.
and you know what? You popped my cherry, so I thank you for that.
Your podcast cherry.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And for all those who will watch this, Tommy, awesome book. Grab it. Very family oriented. Awesome man. Open. Such a great friend. And he so will always forever be my good friend. So thank you, Tommy, for having me on. Appreciate you. And till next time.